Hello and welcome all my dear students of 3rd standard. This is Rohan sir from Mahdi English Medium School. I welcome all my dear 3rd standard little champs in today's science lecture. My dear little champs, were you watching all the lectures regularly? And I hope that if you were watching the lectures, you were also sending your work to the follow-up teachers. Yes, you were also sending the work to me. I know that I always reply you whenever I check your work, whenever I get your work. I always have the habit of at least giving you the feedback. If any mistakes are there, I try to correct it. So my dear little champs, I hope that those who are not sending the work for some or the other reason will try to adjust the timing and will send the work to the follow-up teachers, and will also watch the lectures. As you know that now after FA3 you will have to prepare for FA4, and according to the government rule, exams are going to be conducted, the final exams are going to be conducted. So please make sure that you watch the lectures in the sequence uploaded and you try to cop up with the work done in the class, online class. And if you have any doubts, we are always keeping the doubt solving sessions. So please make sure you just work in that format and try to less your work, try to divide your work so that at the end you don't have to do all the things together. So let's get started with today's lecture. So what are we going to do today? So this is what we are going to do in today's lecture. Chapter 10, measurement. We are going to solve few objective questions. Now these questions I thought let us solve in the textbook. That is why today I have not prepared the on-board lecture. I have prepared this session where I can show you the textbook PPT and we can solve together the questions, objective questions here. So let's have the tour of the textbook today. I will even show you the textbook now, and we will solve at the end on page number 103 the objective questions left to be solved. Let's get started. Before I display my textbook, I will just request you to open up your rough book and your textbook. Now today, if you have the textbook, you can just write the answers in the textbook itself. Yes, with the pencil obviously. And if you do not have textbook, we have no way out. We can only write the answers with the pencil in the rough book. So if you do not have the textbook, please make sure still you have to write the answers properly. So now if you are writing in the rough book, you have to write the date, subject, chapter number 10. These many things you have to write regularly. So let's get started. Please be prepared with your books, and then I'll display the textbook on the screen. My dear students, are you all ready with the books? Okay, 2 to 5 more seconds I am giving you. Keep your pencils ready with you. Now I hope that you are ready for your work. So let us solve few objective of the chapter number 10, measurement, for which we have done all the detailed understanding of the different measurements, what are the units of that, how is it written, and every single detail we have done for this chapter. Even the keywords we have revised 3 times. Not only that, but also at the end we have understood the summary part. So I hope that you all are now ready with your books. So let's get started with the exercise. In the exercise we have already done the objective question A, B, C, which is MCQ, which we have done on the board. So till here we have done everything. Now let us solve match the following in today's lecture first, which is what we are going to do. And yes, if you remember, even in the previous lecture When I was concluding the lecture, I asked you to be prepared with your textbook and the rough book, because we are going to solve match the following first in today's lecture. So I hope that you are following all the lectures. If you are following, you must be ready with your books. Let's get started. Let us solve match the following. Column A, column B. So column A, let us first read. Number 1, length of a pencil. Number 2, time taken to eat lunch. Number 3, weight of an orange. Number 4, height of a wall. Number 5, capacity of a juice tin. So these are the 5 questions on column A side. Let us see 5 options on column B side. Option A, 50 grams, G for gram. Option B, 370 cm, centimeter. It is not chief minister, it is centimeter. Option C, 10 cm, again centimeter. Option D, 250 ml, which is milliliter. And option E, 20 minutes, which is the unit, measuring unit of time. So I hope that by reading the question and the options, at least you have got 1 or 2 pairing on the spot, because few pairing here, 2 to 3 answers are very much easy to be paired with the correct option. So let's get started. Let us solve this match the following. Now, length of a pencil and height of a wall, both are measured by the same unit. Actually the units are different, but here both are measured with the same unit, which is centimeter. Obviously meter or centimeter is used for this. So students, just tell me, length of the pencil is bigger than the length of wall or vice versa? Height of the wall is bigger than the length of the pencil, or length of the pencil is bigger than the height of the wall? Just try to think. Some of you might be saying, sir, it is very easy. Obviously height of the wall is bigger than the length of pencil. Wall might be very much at height, pencil is very much short, we can keep in the compass box also. Yes, nowadays new pencils are there in the market, fashionable pencils which are bigger in the size but not as big as the wall is, correct? So length of the pencil is less. So from these 2 centimeters we have to select the measure which has the less measurement, centimeter. So 10 centimeter is less, and it fits with the option A, pencil. So number 1 will match with option C, length of the pencil 10 centimeter. You can also put an arrow like this, or what you can do is you can write answer number 1 here or option C here. In whichever way you like, you can match the pair, but please make sure when you send the photo we should be able to understand that what is the answer you have matched with the option. Okay. Number 2, time taken to eat lunch. Now there is no other option than only one option to measure the time. We cannot use gram, centimeter, milliliter to measure the time. Obviously minutes. If seconds or hours would be the option, we would have thought for a long time. But here minutes is only one measuring unit for the time. So obviously time taken to eat the lunch, 20 minutes. Okay. I hope that you are also matching the pairs. The students who are writing in the rough notebook, they will have to write really very fast. Though I am giving you time, see, while I am explaining like this, you can write it down. If you don't have textbook, you are getting the sufficient enough time. So please make sure you have to do the work while the lecture is going on. Number 3, weight of an orange. So first of all, how is weight measured? How is mass of something measured, in the gram or kilogram, right? So either it should be G or kg. Now there is no option such as kg given here. Yes, but only one option with G, which is gram. So obviously weight is measured in the gram and only one option is given in the gram. So 50 G, 50 gram, weight of an orange, 50 gram. I hope, my dear students, this is becoming easier for you if you just try to understand the question. Nothing is as hard as you just take it. Okay, number 4, height of a wall. Now, like I said, while we were solving the pencil question, so it should be very clear that it is 370 centimeters. 370 centimeters. And the last option remaining is capacity of juice tin. You need to understand and remember that though here only one option is now left out, so answer is very clear. But still you need to remember that capacity of the tin is measured from how much liquid can that container hold. So obviously it is always measured either in the liter or milliliter. I even gave you the example of a milkman. While milkman comes in the morning to give you the milk, they have the measuring cylinders with them or the tins or any kind of containers with them, so they can have the exact idea how much milk that container has. So with this we have solved match the following. Once again I will repeat the answer, or I should say answers. Length of the pencil 10 centimeter. Time taken to eat the lunch 20 minutes. Weight of an orange 50 grams. Height of a wall 370 centimeters. And capacity of juice tin 250 milliliter. I was even speaking the full form of whatever the abbreviation form is written for. So I hope that you had a good revision by matching the pair. Let us solve another interesting question from the same chapter. Let us scroll down the page and see which question will come now. The question changes, very short answer type questions are there now. So let's get started. I hope that those who are having the textbook, they are ready, and those who are having rough book, they should also be ready by giving the heading question A, main question 2. So if you are writing in the rough book, you will have to write in the way that later if you get the textbook, or if you have to revise the things you have written, you should be able to revise it properly, otherwise it is useless. Okay, question A. Name an instrument used to measure the following. So this is the actually main question, and these are the sub questions we should say we have to answer. Name an instrument used to measure the following things. Now the instrument you use to measure different things, that is what you have to understand by reading the question. That for example, this is the question, what instrument do we use? Not which unit, which instrument do we use? Okay. Weight of apples. What do you use if you want to measure the weight of an apple? I will give you 3 to 4 seconds. I will count 4, till then you will have to think about the answer. So weight of apples. Okay. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Did you get the answer? How will you measure the weight of an apple? So if you have written the answer, or if you have thought about the answer, let me write the correct answer anyways. So here is the correct answer, a beam balance. So a beam balance is used to measure the weight. Now here weight of apples, obviously beam balance will be used. When you go to the vegetable vendor, first of all let me ask you one question, students. In my very first lecture, when I was explaining you this chapter, I asked you to visit to one of the vegetable vendors with your mother or with your grandmother. Did you go to the vegetable vendor? If you went, then tell me, did you see the beam balance live over there, how they work with that? They have different weights starting from the 500 gram. They have different weights there. I hope that you went and you have seen that and you experienced it. So you should know that to weight apples they use beam balance. Nowadays the electrical machines have come and the virtual machines have come to measure the weight. So it is different matter, but the beam balance is the best way and the most, or I should say the oldest way to measure any weight. Okay. Number 2, time. How will you measure the time? Come on, again I will count 4 and you will have to select the answer from your mind. Obviously options are not given here. So time starts now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. What about the answer? Did you think about the answer? How will you measure the time? With what instrument will you measure the time? So this answer should be written by you because it is very much easy, but still let me write the answer here. You can write either watch or clock. You can measure the time with either watch or clock. Obviously if you are wearing the wrist watch, you have the time with you. You can measure the time using that watch, or if you have the wall clock at the home, now you might be having obviously. So you can see that clock is also there, wall clock, with the help of what you can measure the time. So these are the answers. You can write either of them even in the exam. Number 3, a piece of cloth and the height of wall. Again these two have the same measuring unit. So a piece of cloth or the height of the wall, you will be able to measure with what? And both shares the same answer. Just think about it. I will give you 6 seconds as there are 2 answers covered. I hope that you have started thinking about the answer. Please don't take the help of anyone. Try to recall whatever you have understood. Your time starts now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. The answer here is MEASURING, measuring tape. Measuring tape is the correct for both. So I will write measuring tape in here, the answer in both the answers. Okay. Now that is different thing, that the height of the wall might go up till the meters and the piece of cloth will not go more than few centimeters. So the measuring unit for measuring instrument for both might be same, might be different also. Sometimes different people use different measuring instruments. Now number 5, the amount of milk in a jar. Okay, this is what I have explained you even in the match the following. So please try to think about the correct answer. The amount of milk is liquid. So what will you use to measure the liquid? Don't you remember? Let me give you 5 counts. Till then you will have to think about the correct answer. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Obviously the correct answer here is again measuring cylinder. So measuring cylinder is used to measure the liquid. Milk is also the liquid. Whether it is in a jar or anything else, we can use measuring cylinder to measure the amount of the liquid. So these are the name of the instruments we can use to measure these things given on the left hand side. I hope that you have also written the answer. I will repeat the answer. A beam balance used for the weight of an apples, watch or the clock for the time, measuring tape for both a piece of the cloth or the height of the wall, and a measuring cylinder for the amount of the milk in a jar. So I hope that you have written the answers. I actually hope that you wrote the answers before I have written on the screen. Okay, now let us move to the next topic. Question B, give 2 example of the things that can be. Now again the sub questions, 4 sub questions are there, overall 8 answers are there, because for each question we will have to give 2 examples. So 4 2s are 8. Let's get started. Again I will give you 4 to 5 seconds to think about the answer, and this is again pretty easy if you have understood the chapter. See, that is the reason why I always repeatedly ask you to watch the lectures. It is nothing of our interest. We are very much happy to make the lectures for you, but it is now up to you that how much do you grasp the topic, understand the topic, and write from the lectures. Okay, give 2 examples of the things that can be. So students, those who are writing in the rough book, they simply have to write question B, and you can write page number also. The entire things which we have done in today's lecture was from page number 103 of the textbook. So please make sure that you keep the note with you. So during the exam time you will have kind of hodgepodge you have to run here and there to find the notes. So keep it properly with you. Number 1, weighed on a beam balance. So which things can be weighed? Of which things we can measure the weight of. That means weighed on a beam balance. So what things can be weighed on the beam balance? I will write one and I will give you time to think for the other. Fruits can be weighed. Just now we saw the example of an apple. Okay, now I will give you 5 seconds. Think about the second example. What you can measure the weight of on the beam balance. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Did you find the answer? See, here your answer may vary from one question to another question, or from people to people the answer varies. That means changes. So nothing to worry about. You can send me the photo if you have the doubt in any of your answers. It will be corrected if it is wrong. Otherwise, I will just give you the tick mark if it is correct. So I have written here vegetable. Fruits and vegetable can be weighed on a beam balance. As like I have given you the example of vegetable vendor, I have taken the examples from the same example, measured using a ruler. So which 2 things can be measured using the ruler? Okay, I will write one example here, pen, because pen is very small, it can be measured easily with the ruler. Okay, now for the second I will give you again 5 counts. Please try to think about the thing which you can measure with the ruler and write the answer. Your time starts now. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Have you thought about the answer? Which thing you can measure with the ruler? What do you do in the school? You draw the line. So obviously line can also be measured with the ruler, which you do in the book. Ruler is specially made for that purpose, only for the mathematics purpose only. So in your mathematics lecture you draw the line, you can measure it with the ruler. So these 2 things I have written. Number 3, measured using a measuring cylinder. Okay, what can you measure using measuring cylinder? So 1 I will write juice. Now juice is a liquid, right? Juice is a liquid which we drink. So it can be measured by the measuring cylinder, because measuring cylinder can measure the liquid, amount of liquid in the liter or milliliter. So what else can you measure using the measuring cylinder? I already gave you the hint while I gave you the answer. Okay, your time starts now. I will count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Did you get the answer? Students, it is pretty easy. If you have not written the answer, let me tell you, you will have to be little more practical. I wrote the answer juice, and then I said that measuring cylinder is used to measure the amount of liquid. You could have written any liquid. So very simple answer if I write here is water can be measured. It is also liquid. It is a pure liquid. Correct? So juice and water, these are the liquids. That is why it can be measured using the measuring cylinder. And the last question, measured using a measuring tape. Okay, what can be measured using the measuring tape? First of all, body parts can also be measured, because when you go to the tailor with the clothes, when you want your clothes to get stitched from the tailor, they just take the measurement of your shoulder, of your hand. So body parts can also be measured using the measuring tape. They have the measuring tape to measure the shoulder, the broadness of the shoulder and the leg and etc. So one is body parts, which I have written. I'll give you a chance to think about the second answer, and I'll count 5. I hope that by then you will get the answer. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. What will be the answer? As simple as that. Again I gave you the hint. When you go to tailor, they will measure your body parts. But for what will they measure the body parts? To stitch the clothes. So clothes can also be measured with the measuring tape. So clothes is the second example I'll prefer to write here. So this way we have solved all the objectives of this chapter. Since 3 lectures we were doing the objectives. Now I request you to write every single stuff we have written as the objective part, right from the hard words till here, till today. Please complete everything in your fair book, so that once your fair book is complete, you will be able to revise the topics from that, and we will be able to move towards the next chapter. With this, I end my today's lecture. I hope you enjoyed the lecture and you have written the answers in the lecture itself. Have a nice day. Take care of your health. Goodbye.